but also controversial because he
probably 35, 36 years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
But she remembered, things of that sort. She was the one that would be remembering
Sure.
in
Yeah.
the family. She was saying about your mother, how she liked her so much, and she said her sister, she said Marion. Marion and your mother couldn't get within a mile before they were fighting.
Oh, they
She
didn't
said
like
they just did not get on.
No, didn't like each other at all. Not at all. But I remember that my mother thought a great deal of Marguerite.
She was altogether different.
Yeah.
Really.
And there was a girl, Robin, that was Marion's daughter.
Marion's daughter. She was a very nice person.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, Marion, where is she?
She died about 2 years ago. She was
see.
in down around Sanford, I think.
I see. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Marguerite is how old now?
Marguerite she was born in 99.
Yeah.
She would be, 92 this next December.
Oh, my.
And she does all the cooking.
Oh, my.
And everything for her daughter.
Isn't that something? She lives with her daughter?
Yes. Her daughter lives with her.
What's her daughter's name?
Mention.
Jacqueline. Oh, Jackie. That sounds familiar. That kind of rings a little bell. Yeah. Well, isn't that something?
I know.
My mother was adopted. You probably know that.
Yes, she said that.
Yeah.
I stayed one night, and I was going to ask Margaret how we ever happened to stay with them one night. And Verna wasn't there, so she must have been married. She might have been away at school or something.
My mother? Yeah.
That's right.
My mother married my father in the early 20s.
Oh, yes.
Middle 20s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd say early 20s, probably middle 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was born in 28.
Yeah, you're born 28.
Yeah, and I think they were married like 3 years or so, about 3 years before I was born, 4 years before I was born. I think they were.
When was Grammy born?
Grammy was born, let's see, my father was born in 1900 and he was now 8 years older, either 8 or 9 years older. She was born in 1908 or 9. Yeah. Now, my grandparent, my grandmother Hayes, did you know her?
You mean?
My father's mother, my grandmother Hayes, Angie.
Angie, oh yes.
Yeah.
Angie, I knew the whole family, you see, because I was brought up in North Yarmouth, and they lived, in North Yarmouth too.
Yeah.
I didn't know the older ones. George was married, and George married Minnie.
Baston?
Well, she was Minnie Dolph. But she lived with grandmother and grandfather Baston, evidently. And she was brought up with the Baston children, but her mother was the oldest. Her mother was my husband's father's sister.
Your husband's
my father, my
sister.
husband, yeah.
I see.
And so on.
Yeah.
And my Frank Hayes had a brother Edward.
Yes.
And he married my aunt.
Sylvania? No, Eleanor.
Emma.
Eleanor or Emma?
Emma. And they adopted a girl by the name of Eleanor Howland.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Arthur.
Never married.
Never married.
No.
But I think I've read after my father passed away, he had saved everything. I think the Hayeses saved everything.
Yes, they did.
We do that.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who probably told me. And then after my father passed away, I found a lot of letters and different things. Now Arthur was engaged to be married. Is that right?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, that's what somebody told me. He was engaged to be married, but he wouldn't marry this girl because he was diabetic and he knew he wouldn't live very long.
Oh, yeah.
So
they
he
didn't.
wouldn't, they never married.
No.
And Aunt Evelyn
Yes.
used to go and see, it must have been Auntie, it must have been Evelyn that told me this.
Oh,
Because she used to go and visit her and she never married. This woman
yeah.
never
this
married.
woman never married.
And
Well, that's-
Arthur died, I think, when he was 31 or 32.
Well, I know that he must have.
Yeah. Now, he had a house. I don't mean to fire things at you, but I forget everything.
yes.
He had a house that burned.
Oh, yes, over on the Memorial Highway.
Now, what was that all about? What was this house? Was he going to marry this woman and they were going to live in this house?
No, I wouldn't have the slightest idea, but he did, and it went to Earl.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Earl owned it at one time, didn't he?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
That's
Being told
right.
that. But the house burned.
Yes, struck by lightning.
Yep,
I hadn't thought of that for years.
yep. And I often wondered how come he had this house, and
Well, probably he was, if he was going to marry, he probably was going to settle there.
I think
Away from
that's
home.
what it was, yeah. And there were things in the house. There were things in the house that they lost.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have much, for fire
Yeah.
protection at that time.
Furniture and things. And after Dad died and going through all these boxes.
I think they sold it. Yes, didn't Earl sell it
Uh-huh, yep.
to people by the name? Now, wait a minute. I can't. Who was it? Oh, I could almost say it. But,
Yeah.
Where was the house located on Memorial Highway?
it was where the. Oh dear, I don't think that no one has ever built, but the Andersons own it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's right beside, there's Hazel's house, and then there's Robert's house. And then there's this house that burned.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And going through boxes and things after Dad died, I came across some dishes that were obviously damaged from smoke and
Yeah.
everything. And I often, I kind of thought,
Wonder.
well, probably
They came and picked it
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
poked
because I can remember of Dad, he was always afraid of fire.
Yes,
He was
yes.
always very cautious and very, and he, was always talking about,
Yes.
and how much damage it could do and how many things you
Yes,
lose.
yes,
and,
yes.
Yeah.
Because there have been, fires in North Yarmouth, and
Yeah.
houses have been
Yeah.
destroyed.
Now, what kind of a man was my grandfather? See, I knew Grammy.
Oh,
And
yes.
she was precious. I
Yes.
remember, yeah. Because
I can't remember. I think he was a quiet man.
Yeah.
I can't remember, never around when I went up to play with Evelyn. And I can't remember him very well, but Angie was I can remember her.
Yeah, yeah.
And, but I will say, there isn't anyone that was any nicer than Earl Hayes. But he certainly, he had his mother on his hands, and he had his sister on
Yeah.
his hands, and no woman is going to put up with that. I can see it wasn't any fault of his, but it was circumstances
Yeah.
that they left no one could do that.
No, he always took care of his mother.
Yes, he did,
Yeah,
and that
Auntie.
Evelyn, yes,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah, always.
And he was so good. He was such a good guy.
I wish I wish Grammy could have lived longer because I was 10 years old when she died.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, and because I have a child's memory
That's
of
right,
her. I
that's
don't
right.
have an adult's
No,
memory of her.
no.
But I remember she was, I felt that she was a very sweet,
Yes, she was.
good Christian.
Yes, she,
yeah,
yes, she certainly was.
Yeah.
But she,
And the father, my father's father, no one ever said an awful lot about him. Because I didn't ask any questions because a kid, you don't ask
no,
questions.
no.
But the little bit that I remember, No one ever said an awful lot about him.
No, I think he was a hard-working man, and I think he was upright citizen of the town,
Yeah,
one of the best, you know.
Well, I talked with Clara one time, my uncle's
Yes,
wife, Francis' wife.
Yes,
Clara.
yes.
And this would have been just a few years before she passed
Yeah,
away.
yes.
And I did go to her and I talked to her about Evelyn
Yes.
and Belle and that particular situation. And I also asked some questions about my grandfather.
Yes.
And she said that he was a very, very loving father.
Yeah, oh, yes.
And-
They were very loyal
Yeah,
family.
yeah, and you know, and all that, but I don't mean
can't-
that I want to hear any dirt about it, but
No,
I
no,
just
no,
wonder,
there
you know,
wasn't any dirt,
I
I
just
don't
wonder
think.
what kind of a person
And
he might have been.
I was thinking today, I know that Uncle Ed was his brother,
Yeah,
but was there any other sisters, or were there just the two of them?
no, there was a sister,
Della.
Della.
Oh, of course, Mary Charles Allen, of
Yeah.
course, and I'd
Yeah.
forgotten that.
Yeah.
They lived right there on
I know where they
231.
lived.
Yeah.
Yes.
As you come out the road
Yes,
from the farm.
and I'll tell you that if you really want to know, Della Allen has a granddaughter, Della, that lives in Lewiston, and she lives right. She, grew up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember my father taking me over there when I was a little girl, and
Oh, the Allens.
over to
Yes,
Allen's,
yes.
yeah, and all these
Kiddos.
children were
Yes,
all these
yes,
kids.
indeed.
Yeah, and they were of course my cousins,
Yes.
second cousins. I
Yes.
guess, yeah, but I never knew them.
No.
No. And then I did get to know a little bit, one of Ernest's sisters, Della.
No, Ernest only had one
Daughter.
sister, Murty.
Ernest's daughter was Della.
Yes, Ernest is.
You met her. She
Yeah.
had she had a brother that was
Had infantile.
Yes,
had,
infantile,
had
yes.
infantile paralysis.
Yeah,
They used to
very.
call it, yeah.
Yeah.
And she stayed there and took care of.
And she
took
lives-
care of her mother and her father and
Yeah.
his brother.
and she lives in Lewiston now.
Yes,
Is that
She
who you're talking
married.
about?
Yes, she
Yeah.
married a fellow by the name of. Now you wait just a minute. Now I'll tell you. Della. And I write to her too.
Holy cow.
I know. Let's see. Oh, I got to know Della when Auntie, I think, was in the hospital, and she came in to see her. And Ernest was in the hospital.
Oh yes, yes,
Am I using the right name?
yes, you are.
Yeah,
Mhm, because
yeah.
it was Della.
Della's about your age, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a little younger.
About 92.
Yeah. I think she might be a little younger than me. She was real.
Oh yes, she's up and coming.
Yeah,
Yes, she
yeah,
is.
very.
Yes, she's
And then the other sister,
Frances.
Frances, that lived in Portland, and I think she,
Oh no, that was the oldest one. Let's see, Frances. And what's her name? The oldest one. She would die if she thought I'd forgotten her name. I can see her just as well. Marion.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
Marion. Yeah, I was just going to say Marion.
Frances and Della and this Eva and Murty.
Murdy.
Yes, Murty is.
That rings a bell.
She married a Italian fellow, very
Does she
very
live in
successful.
Portland?
Yes.
Or maybe it's Murdy that I'm thinking of.
I think it would be Della if you saw him in the hospital because she was there with her father a great deal when he was in the hospital.
Della's the
Yeah.
one. Remember, I told you that I met her once when I worked
Yeah,
at
she
the
was-
restaurant,
Yeah,
and I told you that I saw her a couple times there, and
she was real.
bubbly,
Bubbly
and,
and-
Murty.
very
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
I haven't
small
seen her.
woman, a small woman. You know, she's
Yeah.
slender and
Oh yes, she.
yeah, but very talkative, and
Yes, she would be.
That was Della.
that was Della.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's. She doesn't.
Mhm.
She's very, very.
And Ernest Allen young Ernest. Ernest.
Ernest Everett, yes.
He works at Dielectric in Raymond, and my husband worked with him for years.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah, and I see him every summer when we go to the shop picnic. They
Oh,
have,
yes.
for all the people, and I see him, yeah.
Oh, for goodness
And
sake.
he's right up in all the town business. And,
Oh, yes, he
yeah,
would be.
Yeah.
He would be. That's Raymond, isn't it? That's where he lives.
Yes,
Yes.
Raymond. Yes, he lives in Raymond. Yeah. And I didn't know him. I didn't even know him until, something about Ernie Allen. And I said, Ernie Allen? Well, I've got a cousin in North Yarmouth. Well, anyway, that's
Yes.
who it was. Yeah.
Well, isn't that strange?
Now, Belle, tell me about Belle.
She
did
was
you
the
know-
only daughter, and they all, worshipped
Yes.
the ground she walked on, I
Yes.
guess.
Yes.
And Bill, I think, Bill had epilepsy, of course, and she had seizures.
Yes.
But I never saw her in one. But
Is that how she passed away?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And she's kind of sad about. Yes, that is her. My goodness, thank God, yeah. She was a very good-looking woman, and I told you, about the wedding, that I.
Mark was telling me that you said it was,
yes,
he was a
Lucy
flower
and
girl.
Lucy and I, we had dresses alike,
Yeah.
and really the house was real nice then,
Was it at the house? The wedding was at the house?
Oh, indeed, on the lawn.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. And we were flower girls, and when she came down the stairs, you see, we rose petals.
Oh, my.
And then she was married under an arch, and I can remember, most beautiful wedding presents. The wedding didn't last too long, as I recall, and I can't remember where they lived, whether they lived up there at the Hayes place, or whether they really had a home of their own. But I think she went back home to live.
They were divorced, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Was his name Mitchell?
Yes, George.
Mitchell.
And
they
he,
were divorced.
He was the salt of the earth, but I couldn't imagine. And then he was married again, and so was she.
She did marry again.
Yeah.
I see.
Totally.
I knew that there was something there, but I couldn't remember.
And it wasn't a very. This last marriage was sad one, because I remember Aunt Cora Parrish, Aunt Cora, was a practical nurse. That would be Minnie's mother, that married George. And the brothers came, and they asked her if she would go down and, take care of her or see her or something. And she was, I remember Aunt Cora saying that, went into the room where she was, and she was lying on a bed of blankets and on the floor, and I think they got her out of there as soon as possible. But her husband had plenty of money as far as that was concerned, but I don't think he was awfully good to her.
Yeah,
And it was kind of a sad, whether she died at that time, I can't seem to remember.
It seems as though Ernest told me, Ernest Allen, not the young one, not,
No, Ernest.
but the older one, my father's first cousin. Seems so he told me that, I knew she had epilepsy because he's the one that told me that.
Yes.
Because I think I asked him what was the cause of her death.
Yes.
And I think he said, well, she used to have epilepsy attacks.
Yes.
And I think he said that he didn't know for sure, but he thought she might have died during one of those, but he didn't know.
Well, now I don't know. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Oh, here.
Sorry. These are more recent pictures over here. But
But I'd like to know. This is.
that's Bill.
That's Bill.
And this one's Bill. Now, is that at the Hayes house, do you think? Do they have a swing out there?
Can't remember if they ever had a swing, but they must have. I really can't remember much.
Got think you're doing quite well.
My word.
I haven't thought of this family for years,
I
you know.
don't know how.
And the
I couldn't
nicest-
believe when Mike told me, you know, she remembers everything.
Well, really and truly, you know, there are some little vacant spots, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of them.
Now that's George, Arthur, and Belle.
Oh, for goodness sakes. George and Arthur. Well, isn't that a precious picture?
Isn't that a nice picture?
That one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
taken
Arthur
in
Hayes.
1890.
George was 11. He was the oldest one.
Yeah.
George, now, George and then Arthur came, didn't he? No,
No.
Isabel.
Isabel. I think it went George, Isabel,
Arthur and Francis.
Arthur, Francis,
And,
and my father.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was younger than, quite a little bit younger than the rest.
This is Belle here too. Did you know that was Belle? I've been looking and looking and looking, figuring out.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Dan.
I'm quite
I
sure it
don't
is
remember.
because you can tell by.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And this is George, and this is Arthur. I'm quite sure of that. Yeah, because that says from Arthur.
You ought to write on
I
it.
can't remember except Arthur. He was quite successful in everything he did. He lived at home, and I don't know about the successful part and what. But everything he did, you know, he made money.
Yeah.
What did he do?
But wasn't he just
Well,
a farmer? He
yeah.
farmed the.
Yes, and
yeah.
I think he took things to market.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yes.
did. In fact, I have the box that my father brought me, that he used to take butter in.
Yes.
And it's a round,
Yes, it's a butterfly.
a round box
Is that
with
our,
a handle.
just put our socks in?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
used to
it's
keep
under
it
there.
under the, and the socks that needed darning, I used to,
Yes.
of course, I never darned them, but.
No. And that was Arthur.
That's George.
Arthur had,
No, this
That's
is
George.
George, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I meant, yes.
Yeah.
George did well. He was
George,
worked for the railroad.
George was, from what I remember of hearing and reading and in letters that he had written to my father and things, I think that he was quite successful.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He worked for the railroad. He worked at the tower, I think
Yeah.
they called it.
And wasn't he quite a worker in the town?
Oh, yes,
Baston,
yes,
or
he was.
whatever,
Yeah, and he had a very nice home, they did.
yeah.
That was right next to the white wooden house right there as you come into North Yarmouth on Route 1.
Yes,
on
right
that
side
side.
of the two brick ones.
I always
Right,
thought
yeah.
I thought for years it was a brick house.
No, it was the white one.
No,
It was a
just-
white one,
yes,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
a very nice home.
Very,
and-
yeah.
I remember him vaguely.
Yes.
I think I would have liked him a lot,
You would, you couldn't help but
Yeah,
like
George.
George.
And I think I would have liked Arthur a lot.
I think so, because I don't, you know, see, he was much older than I, well, I
It
don't know how
seems
much.
so he might have been, I think my father might have been like Arthur. I don't know why I think that, but just the letters and stuff. I mean, I think he was, I
Very
imagine that
gentle.
he might have been a very gentle person, Arthur.
I can't remember that, you see,
Yeah.
I can't, he was just that much older.
And my father was very, gentle
Oh, yes, he was,
and
yeah, he was
sweet.
a nice fellow.
Here's the old house.
Oh, yes, we came right out of there, and
Yeah.
oh, yes. Oh, yes.
How long were they married?
Mr. and Mrs.
Belle and
George?
her first
Oh,
husband.
I don't know. Not
I
too
had
far.
all those.
I
papers.
don't know.
I think I
So
even
she
had
married-
divorce papers.
She married a Mitchell first,
Yeah.
Yes,
and then
Jo-
she married a Voice.
Tony, but I think he was.
Voice.
Voice. Isabella Voice.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Isabella
do
No,
you
no,
Voice.
spell
no,
it?
no,
How
no,
do you
no.
spell that?
Voice was her middle name.
It was?
Yes.
Vose,
yes.
V-O-S-E.
Oh.
Yes.
Isabel Vose, and I'll tell you, I've got Isabel Vose's autograph in my aunt's Isabel Vose was a woman who came from Boston, and she boarded around these various places.
Yeah.
And you could always tell it as Isabel, this is what I remember hearing, you could always tell when Isabel Vose boarded, where she boarded that summer, because they had all these improvements in their house.
Oh.
She, would build out a room, or she would
Oh, wow.
fix up,
Yeah, yeah.
the
And Isabel was
name,
named
evidently,
after
so
her.
she must have come up there and boarded a while.
Yeah, I think so, because that name,
Yes, Isabel Vose, yes,
well, of course it was.
So then she married a Mitchell,
yes.
and they were divorced,
Mhm.
and then she remarried a.
She married,
Tony, somebody, and he was Italian, I think.
Oh, I think I've got pictures of him here.
I think, if I remember correctly.
I never felt very good about him.
Well, in going through all these papers and letters and town papers and everything, I
Is that
think
him?
I found divorce papers, and also there, evidently Grammy and my grandfather were named as, in her insurance policy, were named as,
Beneficiary.
yes, and the husband tried to get it.
Yes,
that him?
that would be,
Could that be him right here? That's what
well,
he looks Italian to me.
yeah, it
He
could
looks-
be. I never remember him quite as good looking as that, but he
Because
might have been.
This is Bell here, and so
Yeah.
I thought maybe.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Well, now, I was told, I think Aunt Clara might have told me this, and I know my mother, way back when my mother told me when I was just a little girl about Auntie.
Oh, yes.
And I never ever talked to my father never talked to me about it.
No, that was something they never spoke of.
No. But
We
anyway,
weren't supposed to speak of it.
that Evelyn's father
Oh, listen, oh, I'm listening.
was, worked on the railroad. When they were putting the railroad
Yes,
through.
yeah.
And he was, one of the workers.
Well, I never
Now,
heard
whether
that.
he boarded at their house or what,
Probably.
but that he was an Italian. And he wasn't Protestant, he was
Catholic.
Catholic. And they wanted to get married, but my grandfather,
Oh, he'd be deaf against that.
yeah, he would not allow it. He would not allow it.
Well, that might be,
Yeah. This is what I, know.
Yes, no,
and-
I never
And
heard
my mother always claimed, or now whether she knew this or if this is something she thought or what, but she claimed that he left Auntie money. This
Yes,
man left money so Auntie would be or gave money or something so that she would be provided for.
Well, I never heard that, but that's very interesting.
Yeah. Now I see. I don't
can
know.
remember the neighbors said she never told. No one knows.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
that would go.
See, my father never ever mentioned it
Oh,
to me.
no, it wasn't
No.
mentioned, just as if
Yeah.
it never happened.
And I never said anything to him, even
No.
after, even after,
You
right,
grew
no,
up-
I never did.
And,
No.
and North Yarmouth being so small, it wasn't a scandal. It wasn't.
No, because it was the Hayes family. And
Back then, when things happened in
Yes.
certain families,
Families,
things
it
were
was,
hushed up.
yes, they were hushed up, and of course there was Della, you see, and Uncle Ed, and they were pillars of the town in a way. And no, it was not.
No, never, no.
No, it's just one of those things.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I wish, well, maybe not, but I kind of wish I had talked to my father about it.
I doubt that he might have said, he might have, but they were
He might have,
very
see,
close,
Yeah,
very, very close, they
yeah,
just will not.
He probably wouldn't
And
have.
I couldn't imagine Dell or Ellen or Uncle Ed Hayes ever, they would
Yeah.
never mention anything.
See, I
about
think
that.
this is why I didn't say anything to my father about it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
evidently sensed
Yes.
that
you
my
must have.
father would
No.
not, or did not want to, or it was just
Maybe.
something that you wasn't supposed to talk about.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's Evelyn. Oh my goodness, that was when she graduated from, no, it wasn't.
Did she graduate?
No, she didn't. No, how
Did she
that-
go to school?
Yes.
Did she go to Northampton Academy?
I think she did. but
I
then-
know did.
Yeah, I think she did,
It's
but I
something
think
she's
she
taken
stayed
sick.
home to take care of her mother.
Something, I know, oh, for goodness
I
sake.
think she looks if this is her father over here, see the
Well,
lips?
that must have been the boyfriend, not the last one
Maybe.
that wasn't the one that she married.
Maybe not.
No, this must have been the boyfriend.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be in that album, would it?
Well, that'd be about the time
Yeah, see,
that would be
I
young.
think she looks something like this
Maybe
guy.
that
but
was Belle's album.
maybe that was Belle's album.
This must have been Bill's album.
Yeah, she.
I remember Clara saying, because I did go to Clara, as I
Yes,
said,
yes.
yeah,
Mm.
a few years before she passed away, and I approached her about it,
Yes.
talked to her, because my mother had always told me this,
Yes.
and I just kind of wondered, and she said, and Clara said, oh yes, that is true, and no one ever knew it, and they never talked about it.
No.
And the man was, I'm pretty sure he said he was an Italian. Maybe my mother said that.
She doesn't look very Italian, does she?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
She,
Oh, Auntie?
Yeah.
his when she got older.
Poor
I don't know if
Auntie.
you remember.
Oh, no, you see, I didn't see Evelyn when she was that,
That was taken probably in the late 60s, don't you think?
yeah, you see, I was away then.
My father took care of her,
I know,
Yeah.
and his mother too.
Yeah.
And
We have other pictures of Auntie with great big hats,
Yeah.
Evelyn Hayes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he took care of her, he protected her.
Oh, I
and,
guess he did.
Yeah.
Probably was given
Yeah.
a mandate to do that.
Yeah.
Probably. The family, you see. but-
Probably the family,
Yes,
yes.
This
Yeah.
is Auntie and Grandpa, Earl Hayes and Evelyn Hayes.
Oh, they put a dress on him?
Yeah. Right there.
Oh my, that's Earl.
Yeah.
That's Auntie.
Oh my dear, they did. They put a dress on him. Now that was too bad. He had curly hair too.
Yeah.
Oh. And that's Evelyn?
Yeah.
My land.
Everybody
She
says
is a
that
pretty
Mark,
little
as
girl.
long as Mark's walking the road, Earl Hayes will never be gone because he's just like him.
Well,
That's what everybody says.
I think there's something to that now.
He doesn't look like him, but
Well,
he has
He
his
is-
nature and
he
his,
he was an awfully, Charles Earl Hayes.
yeah.
Oh, yes. Gee, we had a lot of fun in Walnut Hill School.
He was a wonderful person.
Yes, he was. Sister, oh yes, this picture belonged to Evelyn Hayes, sister of Charles Earl Hayes. She was very, very fond of her brother.
Oh,
He was
I
awfully
guess.
good to her.
Oh, she idolized him.
Yeah, and
Oh,
really,
yes.
she, yeah, but he was a lovely, nice fellow.
Yeah, she just.
Don't you have any
adored-
dirt on him?
What?
Don't you have any dirt
Not
on him?
of course. Not
I want
on
to hear.
Earl.
I want to hear some dirt.
I
Not
want
on
to hear the
Earl.
dirt.
Not on Earl.
Oh, no,
No.
not on my father.
And not on.
I don't believe there
I
was
can't-
candy on my father.
I
no.
think they used to laugh something about Arthur, but not on Francis. No, he was. Did Francis and his wife live up at the old place for a while? They did, didn't they?
Yes, I think
Yes.
so. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Then
then
they
I
moved
think
to
they,
Gray.
I think before they moved to Gray, I think they lived, where there was a little school, you know where the church is, the Congregationalist Church.
Mhm.
Well, going down
Steeves
that
Road.
road, the church is here.
Mhm.
And just down beyond there, the school used to be, there used to be a school.
Hancock's.
Well, I think they used to live right the next place, or right in there, because Clara taught school.
Yes, I know that
Yeah.
she did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He probably built some of those houses. They all look the same. They're all
Yeah,
small.
yeah.
Didn't he build?
Who, Francis?
Did he build
I
houses?
He was
don't-
done,
I
I
don't
don't think.
think so.
That's another old.
Oh my, haven't got any school pictures, have you?
Well, I do have a couple.
Oh,
I think
boy.
they're older. I think
Maybe
they're.
you're in one of them, huh?
Well, I think they're older.
I think.
I showed these to.
Oh, Dad. you
Well, I've got
that's-
one.
yeah, who could these
This
be?
is. This right here is Auntie Evelyn,
Oh, yes.
and this is either George or Arthur or Francis. These two here.
Uh-huh.
I think this is Dorcas Hicks.
Well, that sounds familiar, but,
She was Angie's mother,
oh,
the
yes.
Hicks family. This is Grandpa, Earl
Yeah,
Hayes,
uh-huh.
and this is his father, but you can't see him. I think we've only got maybe 2 pictures of him.
Yeah.
They're either dark like this and that's Angie.
Well, you've got that picture of the,
That's the jury.
jury, yeah.
I should have brought that one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't
Oh,
think that.
no,
That's quite.
oh, my gracious, no, let me see. No, that's, you don't know what you
Nothing.
know. Oh, that's very sad. No, let me see.
Do you recognize the building?
No, that must have been the old schoolhouse, because it certainly isn't the Walnut Hill schoolhouse that I knew. Oh, they might have, no, I don't think they would go to the Hicks School. They would go to Walnut Hill because, now I should know some of these. Bill must be there. That face looks familiar, and that one looks familiar. That looks like Helen Hatch. Helen. My goodness. Two kids with their hats on.
This kid here didn't have any shoes.
Oh, that's right. Oh. My heavens.
We do have a school picture, don't we? A group with Belle?
Not that I know of.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna have that fixed up. It needs to be re-matted and put into acid-free paper, you know, to keep
Yeah,
it from.
that must be the teacher.
Yeah.
By the looks of him, that one. must be
Yes.
The teacher.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
look at
Then
that.
there's this old picture.
May I see it?
Yeah.
No,
That
this-
looks like Uncle Ed, the
What
way
a
it
shame that
stands.
there's nothing on this, huh?
Nothing. This says paint shop, I think, right at the
Oh,
front here.
yes, uh-huh. Oh, my. It was long before my day, but
Yeah.
they had them.
Well, I don't know, this gal right here looks like she might be the teacher too.
Yeah, she certainly looks quite, I thought of that. She looks
Yeah.
quite in authority. I bet he,
Doesn't she?
Mm.
yes, oh, yes, I thought of that. She might be. But he must have.
Maybe he was.
That's a paint shop, the Hamiltons had a paint shop, but I don't think it was there, I don't know.
Weren't they right on Route 115?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
this
Hamilton,
Yeah, this looks like it might be up in a field.
that's what I was thinking. No,
I showed these to Ursula Bayer, and she didn't recognize,
she didn't.
the
Oh,
building.
Ursula
and she
Bayer
would.
was, she has a picture of mine.
That's Angie.
Oh, yes, I can see, yes, it is. Yes, that's Angie.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
picture of Grammy Hayes.
Yeah.
Yes, and she did. Yeah,
She was a nice lady.
yes, she was a nice lady.
Was Belle, what did they do with Belle all the time for 9 months? Did she?
Probably stayed up there at
Stayed
that
right
house,
there,
you
yeah.
say.
Yeah,
And I don't have any idea. Of course, first you see that I would know is when I went to school,
yeah.
and she didn't seem, I guess she called Angie mother and called
Yeah.
Frank, no, not Frank, yes, her father's name was Frank, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Frank,
Yeah.
her father, Papa,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And she called Belle, as I recall it.
Auntie, you're talking about
Auntie.
Auntie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she,
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, yes, she always called Grammy Mama. And
Yeah, I heard
whenever, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I think
And,
so.
and my sister Belle. She
Yes.
always referred to her as my sister,
Sister
Belle.
Belle.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know if she ever knew, really.
Well, I don't know.
I thought you found things.
Well, I don't remember, Mark. You told me that.
Yeah,
And
or maybe not.
I think it was in Dad's things that Walter and I
Oh.
That
found.
was Earl,
Yeah,
and
my mother.
your mother, yes.
Yeah.
You see, I didn't, when Earl was married, I must have, we didn't go up to Gray much until the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah, that's yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's Uncle Francis.
That's
And
about 1925. You had.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very successful store. Earl did well there. Everyone in North Yarmouth never went through Gray, but they stopped,
Yeah.
you know. And he sold very good ice cream,
Oh,
I remember.
yeah.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah, people used to come from way over
Yeah.
for his ice cream.
Right.
And he made candy. He went to, I can't remember now, it was either Haven.
Haven, now that.
Yeah, and that's where he learned
Yes.
how to make candy. And that was what he wanted to do, was
Yes.
to be a candy,
Yeah,
you know.
maker
Yeah.
and sell them.
And he did used to make candy.
Yes.
When he first started it, he made his own candy. But then he gradually got out of that
Well, he
business.
took time and,
Yeah. And there was some of the equipment downstairs,
Big
the
slabs of marble.
marble and things
Oh,
that
yes,
they
when you-
used to,
yes.
and I found the papers, receipts of some of the equipment that he bought from
Oh, yes.
Havens.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
There's my mother and grandmother.
Oh. Isn't that coming?
Yeah.
Oh. That is coming.
Yeah.
Do you know who this might be? Maybe you do, Mom.
No.
It could be one of Grammy's sisters, but I don't
No,
think so.
no.
Maybe one of their daughters. That's too old, though.
That wouldn't be Clara, would it? When she was younger? I think so.
Well, it might be.
I think so.
Yeah.
Boy, that looks,
I think you are right.
yes, yeah.
I didn't know her.
Look at those cold eyes. That had to be Clara.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. She was,
Yeah, that's Clara.
yeah.
I remember going to see Clara with my aunt, and all she did was giggle. She just had this giggle.
Really, Clara?
Yeah,
Oh, I couldn't
yeah.
imagine her even laughing.
No, I know.
She was very stern.
Very, very stern. Very,
This
yeah.
auntie.
Oh, yes.
She had a tall drink of water, huh?
And she
Yes, she
wasn't
did.
nice to Auntie. When-
No, I couldn't imagine her being nice to anyone.
Not
No,
until not until the last few years when she lived with her daughter, Mildred,
Oh.
and in Wyndham.
Auntie
And
used to go
Auntie
over.
used to go over and see her, you
Oh, she
know.
did.
And then she was, oh yes, she used to
Yeah,
think
that's
that
what I
was
remember.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know her.
But
at
in
all.
the store, when Clara used to work in the store,
Oh, my, no.
and she was real friendly with Dad's wife,
Second one.
Annis, yeah.
I didn't know about her.
And they weren't nice to Auntie at all.
No. poor Earl wouldn't know what to do about that.
No,
I
no.
mean, he
No,
really,
he
you know, he was a kind, gentle person, and
Yeah.
he never in the world would know how to straighten out women.
No, never.
Did you know-
No, he never did.
No,
That's
no,
for
indeed.
sure.
Did you know
No.
Dr. Hicks? My,
Yes. Oh,
that's my grandmother's
grandmother's.
sister.
And she was a very talented and
She was a osteopath.
osteopath.
Yeah.
That's-
Why, I hadn't thought of her. Yes, she was quite a,
She lived right over, and she owned the house on the corner of Cumberland Avenue and High Street.
yes.
So she had an office over there. and her home
Yes,
was
she
there.
was a very,
She was born in North Yarmouth and grew up in Hamden because they moved to Hamden. Charles Earl Hicks and Dorcas Hicks. They moved to Hamden.
Charles
Charles Earl
Charles.
Hicks.
oh, really?
Those are
That
Yeah,
was
okay.
Angie
yeah.
Hayes' parents.
Parents.
Yeah.
That
I
was
get
who
all mixed
that was who Earl was named for,
Right.
Charles. It
Yeah.
must have been.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Charles Earls along down the line.
Line.
Yeah. A lot
Then
of Earls.
another one of Grammy's sisters was Hattie. Did you know Hattie?
No, I never heard of her.
She was a poet. She wrote poetry. She had a book published.
Well, that's Aunt Hattie, I think. Right here, that's Grammy and Aunt Hattie.
Oh.
And then there was Alice that lived up on Deering Street.
Alice Black.
Alice Black.
Oh.
She was one of
And Mamie. There was Mamie.
9, I think.
Oh, for goodness sakes. These must be all.
These are Hamden. These are
Oh,
Hamden,
hi.
Maine. These are Ebenezer Hicks, Charles Earl Hicks, Dorcas Maine. Then it has Hamden, Maine. This is something Hamden.
Oh, Hamden, Maine. East Devon.
And then I'm not sure, that's either Marston or Baston or something.
Lena looks like.
Yeah.
But really, I heard more about Belle today than I ever knew. I didn't
What
know
kind?
that
Do you
was-
remember what kind of a person she was?
She was a very meek person.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, well, that is, as I remember. But she was, she had a lot of, she took Evelyn around all over the state of Maine to get that pony. That always surprised me. They drove everywhere to get the magazine subscriptions.
Yes.
And she won that pony.
What do you mean by, not by automobile?
No, wagon, horse and buggy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I remember Auntie had pictures of the pony. You must have them.
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
that
and
pony
I
was
think it might be in here.
Yeah. She loved that.
That
Grandpa had a,
And she was real meek, Belle.
as I remember.
She was quite a bit older than you, wasn't she?
Oh yes,
Yes,
Evelyn
yeah,
was
a lot
was
older.
older than I was,
Yeah.
and Earl was. But yeah, she was.
When I say quite a bit, I didn't mean a little bit. I meant a lot
No,
older.
no,
so
she
you
was.
wouldn't
No,
remember.
don't worry about me and my age. That
So
doesn't
you
bother
wouldn't,
me at
you
all.
wouldn't remember an awful lot about her, but I've
Oh,
always
this is Aunt
wondered.
Hattie Hicks, sure. Oh, isn't that a pretty dress?
You say she was attractive?
I wouldn't say. I would say she was.
stylish.
No. When I knew her, you see, she was kind of meek and. But she wasn't outstanding like the boys, as I remember.
I see. The boys were more outgoing.
Yes, outgoing.
Yeah.
She was very nice. Oh, and she always dressed well. That part of it. I think that the boys in the family just thought she was the only girl,
Yeah.
and they thought she was about,
About it. Yeah.
Yes, they really did.
Yeah.
And
It must have been a big.
I think it was I think that they really,
Yeah.
they really.
Must have been a
And
tragedy.
it was a great blow to
Yeah.
them.
A big.
Is that Eleanor Hayes?
No, that's Annie Hicks, Dr. Hicks.
By George, that looks like Eleanor.
Could be.
No, no.
I mean, it could be. That's my handwriting. Because she,
Let's see.
I think it's, is that?
I don't think though that they would.
I think these,
I don't think they would have any.
That looks like Annie.
Yes.
Annie, Dr.
But you see,
Yes.
she wouldn't be any relative.
Now
of
this
them.
one here says grandmother's home where mother was born. I think Jacob Loring, because she was
yes, Lord.
her father was her great grandfather was Nicholas Loring, who was the second minister in North Yarmouth.
That would be
But
Angie Hayes, grandmother. What?
Well, see, it goes Angie, and then her mother's name was Dorcas
Yes.
Hicks,
Uh-huh.
but she was a Loring.
Oh, and Dorcas Hicks was a Loring. I
Loring.
knew that she
Mm-hmm.
had went back quite a ways and had quite a lot of,
Yeah, it goes.
you know.
Okay.
She's got this all down pat, hasn't it?
My brother has her middle name, Lauren.
Is that so?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
it
father's.
goes
My
Dorcas
Catherine.
Loring, and then Jeremiah Loring,
Yes.
Thomas Loring, and Mary Richmond married Nicholas Loring. So she's in that line of Lorings
Oh, yes, that's quite a very.
that goes back to John Alden.
Oh, yes. You can be a Mayflower girl.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember Mary Hayes that married my cousin Frank?
What was her maiden name?
Oh, you mean,
I forgot to ask her.
Was it
I
Thompson?
forgot to
Was it
ask Mary.
Thompson?
No, I
Mary
don't
Hayes.
think so.
She worked in the store.
She worked for my father. She married Frank Hayes. George was Frank's father.
yes, uh-huh.
And Mary married Frank.
Frank, yes. I didn't know her. They lived in Gray.
And she's about 75, you think?
Yeah, Mary's about 75.
I know,
Yeah.
can't believe these things.
Yeah, yeah. I talk with her quite often. She and Frank were divorced.
Yes. How many children did they have?
They had 2 boys.
2 boys.
Yeah, Charlie and Kenneth.
Oh, yes. Now, are they in Gray?
No, Kenneth is in Augusta.
Uh-huh.
He's a state representative.
He was.
He was.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
running against Olympia Snow.
yeah. And Charles became a Mormon, a real estate man, and in California
Oh, I
someplace.
see.
Yeah.
Oh, for heaven, I hadn't thought of that.
And Arthur's son passed away.
Arthur?
George's son,
Oh.
Arthur. Yeah, George had a son, Arthur.
Here it is out now. Let me see. I knew those boys. The oldest one was
Arthur, wasn't it?
Owen. No, what was? And he married a girl from Gray, I think. Oh, what was that oldest boy's name?
I have them in those books there.
Well,
George,
Look it up.
my father's brother George had a son, Arthur.
did he?
Yeah. And he had
think.
a son, Arthur. And Mary, just a little while ago, saw him.
For him, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
I know that George lived in North Yarmouth, and what was his?
George Howard Hayes,
Yeah, you just tell me. He married Minnie.
born 1879, North Yarmouth, living with Cumberland Center, record by Evelyn, married April 27th, 1906 to Minnie Estelle Dollar,
Yes,
daughter of Frank and Cora.
yes.
He was stationed and telegraph agent North Yarmouth,
Right.
1904 at Roe River Junction. And his children were George Howard, Frank Bradford, and John Loring.
Well, then who was Arthur?
His oldest son, what
Ormond
was
Dollar. Children born in North
Almond,
Yarmouth.
Almond, that's the one.
Ormond.
Oh,
All
Almond,
kids.
yeah. Oh, I
Almond.
loved Almond.
1908, living in Gray.
And he
Yeah.
married.
Isabel Catherine Sawyer.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yes,
Isabel
Isabel.
Sawyer.
She's still alive, right?
Isn't
she's
she?
still-
Well, she was the last I heard. Boy, what a bird she was.
Daughter
She
of
was quite
Joseph
something.
and Emma Sawyer.
Yeah.
George Howard married Alma Estelle Burnell.
Burnell.
Well,
Yes.
oh,
Now,
but then
has
it
he
was.
died?
George Howard,
No, he died.
he was born in 1911, and this book doesn't have that.
Yeah, he died.
He died.
He
Oh,
died.
he did.
Yeah,
But he
He has
married a
a son.
Burnell.
yeah, and he has a son.
That one might be Arthur.
That might be Arthur, or maybe his name was George. I keep getting George and Arthur mixed up.
Charles.
Oh,
It
I
has
had
Morris
followed these
Hayes.
people for years.
I'm gonna leave these with you.
Oh,
Look at these.
Len,
These
I
are
want to be
wonderful.
doing a thing. House cleaning coming on, and me reading John Hayes.
Yeah.
Well, that brings back a lot of memories. We never went up there to Gray, but we always called it Old Store.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Belle, I can't say that she was kind of probably due to all that happened in her life. I can't remember that she never took part in too much
and
in the
I
church.
see.
She was kind of, and I can remember saying, oh no, she never told
Yeah.
how it was.
Yeah.
Oh, we just hushed up, we never, and we
Never.
certainly wouldn't speak of it in front of Earl or Evelyn.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No.
A scandal.
Yeah. I'm sure that's why I never said anything to my father about it, because I
Knew there was something that
and
shouldn't be
I
spoken
greatly
of.
respected him, you know,
Oh,
and
yes.
I wouldn't.
He's a cute.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I
This
wouldn't
is-
ever say anything that would hurt him.
This is Grammy and her brothers and sisters.
Oh,
I
yeah, the
believe.
Hickses, huh?
The Hickses. And this is Grammy. And I don't know who the little girl is. Maybe Auntie, because this. Maybe Auntie, because she did have. See this picture over here.
Oh, yeah, that looks like,
Could be. Her hair was light.
yeah.
You know, maybe when she was. But it could have been another grandchild.
That could be.
You know.
But
No,
there
I
weren't
think
many.
that was Auntie.
Yeah, there weren't, of course there were.
No,
George's
that was
children.
Auntie.
That was Auntie.
That was
yeah.
Auntie. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Could have been.
Yeah, I think so.
that's cool.
Because I don't remember of any other little girls.
No, there's
There.
Belle, and now look at the hat. See,
Well, that's quite simple.
looking at these pictures, I always thought, well, she looks pretty stylish.
Yeah,
But
I
that
always
hat
thought.
I
could have
don't-
been there to
Somebody,
put on.
yeah, that's right, because I'm sure she never appeared in North Yarmouth looking like that.
It could have been a prop, you know.
Maybe it
I'm
was
sure
a
it
prop.
was.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
I'm
telephone
sure it
and-
was.
Now wasn't
These
Auntie
are
pretty?
Evelyn, you see.
Yeah, she's a pretty little girl there.
I know it.
I don't know what happened. Was
I know,
she got-
poor Auntie.
Well, Auntie
Poor
really
Auntie.
had a. Oh, this is the Hicks place. This is
Is that where
the.
Nellie Layton lived?
Yes.
Or is,
And now there was a Hicks. They bought it from a Hicks. Now I don't recall they were any Elbridge Hicks. One of the first houses in North Yarmouth built. Yeah, that's where Nellie lived.
those must be props.
Oh, she never appeared in North Yarmouth looking like that.
Well,
now.
see, listen, because, you know, we, yeah,
I
see?
always thought, wow,
Well, we
she's
thought
she's
she
pretty
must
stylish.
be. Yeah.
Oh, no, dear, no. I don't mean what she could have been,
No,
but
no,
I
no,
think
I know what you're saying.
her life, she was kind of squelched in
She was
it.
just having fun.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize, she was a person, I never thought of as having fun.
Really?
No.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No.
See? Now, maybe that's one reason, Auntie. I do remember my mother saying, but my mother didn't like any of them very well.
Well,
you know.
you wouldn't if you had to live in a small place.
Yeah.
And have to.
And
I know.
I remember,
What's that?
I think she said that everybody, the family held Auntie back.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That she, at one time she'd had a friend, a boy, you know, there was a young man that she liked,
Yeah.
but the family boy wouldn't have any, you know.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a cow.
maybe they were the same with Belle.
Well,
Or
it could be,
maybe
you know.
Maybe
it
they
could be.
were that
Maybe
way
they,
with
that's
Evelyn
right.
because of the way Belle.
That's George. Wasn't he a nice looking man? He was a nice looking man too. Would that be
Angie and Annie. I'll get written there.
Annie? It must have been her sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now, Mom, this picture here of this man on snowshoes. Now, is that Earl Shaw? Do you remember we went up to Hamden
yeah,
and that cousin of yours that we stopped to see?
yeah.
And I always thought that looked like Grandpa.
I think that's Grandpa.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. No, that's Grandpa. Yeah. Because I can remember of his telling me something
Yeah,
about
okay.
snowshoeing that.
Oh yeah, they would do a lot
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
But there was an Earl Shaw that this woman
Yeah, and I remember that picture too.
did.
Yeah.
That's the monument down in.
Hattie's Aunt Hattie's son was Earl
Yeah,
Yeah.
Earl Shaw.
Shaw. Yeah.
Right.
No, that was Dad.
There they are again. They used to get together and.
Oh yes, people did in those days. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they got together and my land.
Had picnics and.
Yeah, oh
yeah.
yes, and those hats, just wonderful seashore place.
I think that's funny though. Oh no, she wouldn't have appeared enough.
Well, she wouldn't have. I don't think. No, that
I
is.
love that.
I tell you, as I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dell would tell you the same. I think. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, this is.
I love my hats.
Yeah. There must have been a. Didn't. Well, Eleanor Hayes was named for someone in Uncle Ed's family by the name
Well,
of.
I thought
Was his mother Eleanor?
I thought it was Eleanor Hayes and Edward Hayes, but
Well, Edward Hayes. I mean, Uncle Ed Hayes.
yeah, Edward. Let me see now. I'll try and find it here. Well,
Now, was your mother real friendly with Belle, or how come you were?
No. My father was a sea captain, and they never moved into North Yarmouth. They bought their land
Mm-hmm.
from Farrell. I
Mm-hmm.
think they owned a house in Yarmouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got through going to sea, they sold their house and they bought a man owned it by the name of Thompson. And then he and his wife had died, and he had daughters, and Dad bought it from one of the daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a house, and he built the barn. And he was married to my half-sister's mother, Anjeanette Pratt, and she died of cancer. And then my father married her cousin, Harriet Pierce, and she lived down in Bering and came up here. And they were married, my father and mother were married, I think, in 1901, and probably never intended to have any children because she was 40. And then I came along, so I was born in 1902, and so I'm nearer Earl's age than I am
Yes.
Evelyn, because Evelyn is older than
Yeah.
she was
But
born
not
in
much.
99.
But
she was
only
born in
by-
99.
99,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, only
So
by,
she's-
I think, 7
Yes,
months.
yes,
Because
something like
Dad's
that.
birthday was in October, Dad's birthday is in June, Auntie's birthday is in October.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, when we were large enough to,
Yeah.
we would say, they were, when I went first to school, they were brother and sister, Evelyn and Earl.
Yes.
And then, there was very much a difference in their ages, and then we began to question.
Well, that was one of the things my mother, I can remember when I got old enough to figure things out, I can remember saying, no, wait a minute. Yes, I
Oh,
was
that's the
old enough,
pony.
but I hadn't, yes.
That's the
Yeah.
pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
remember saying to my mother, "Are you sure that Auntie and Daddy are not brothers and sisters?" And I can remember her saying, "Well, yes, just figure it out for yourself. His birthday is in June and her birthday's in October, and you
Yeah.
have to have, you know,
Yes,
9
yes,
months." And
yes, that's it.
I used to wonder about that.
But yes, that's how we happened. Earl and Aunt Evelyn and Billy.
Now, who was Billy?
That's what I don't know. Oh, Belle.
Oh, Belle.
B-E-L-L-E,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Belle, oh yes.
Yeah, there's
Oh yes.
Belle and Auntie.
Yeah.
There's Auntie. And
Yeah.
there's Mama and Earl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know why I'm so sure that the picture of that child back there is Auntie, but I just know it is. Probably I was told, somebody must have showed that picture to me. Told me that was, because I can remember looking at some of these pictures with Auntie
Yeah, yes.
when I was little.
Oh, Eleanor Hayes. Okay.
Yeah, she
this
was
is-
adopted. She was a Howland.
Yeah. Well, this is the other Eleanor Hayes.
Oh,
See,
yes,
Edward
yes.
Ellis had, his brothers were, okay, his father was Isaac.
Oh yes. Skilling? No, Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, and his mother was Elizabeth Johnson.
Oh yes.
And Jake was a farmer at Walnut Hill, where he built a house in 1822. That's the house on Verrier Road, where they were born. Okay, then the brothers were Samuel Skillings Hayes,
Yeah, that's,
Edward Ellis Hayes, Isaac Skilling Hayes,
well, they don't know.
Jane Gray Hayes, William Hayes, Eleanor Hayes, Jacob Hayes. So there was an Eleanor Hayes. He had a sister, Eleanor Hayes.
Yes.
So maybe
Because when she came, they were very careful to tell her she was adopted. This would be my cousin, Aunt Emma and Uncle Ed Hayes' child that they adopted. And they were very careful. And she had, her name was, I can't remember what it was, but they changed it to Eleanor, but they kept Howland. Her middle name was Howland, Eleanor Howland Hayes. So she would remember that she was,
I see.
and she also had a sister who they kept in touch, Aunt Emma and Uncle Ed always kept in touch with that sister, the parents who adopted her.
Yeah.
Well, this is a cemetery at Walnut Hill.
that's the Hicks Monument there.
Oh yes, and I used to have to keep the urn watered when my father had charge of the cemetery. Oh yes.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Eleanor Howell, 623.
Yeah.
There's a nice write-up about her in here too.
Sure, very. Oh yes, and Angie.
Edward Gorham.
That's it, Edward G.
Yeah.
Hayes. Oh, this must have been Walker.
Emma Arville Montfort.
Yes. What was her middle name?
Arville.
Avila?
Arville.
Avila? Avila. I never knew what Emma's middle name was.
And then it says here, Eleanor Howard Hayes.
Yeah.
Eleanor Howard
Howard.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Daughter of friends of Mr. and Mrs. Hayes. He graduated at Harvard University in
Yes, sure.
1930.
Yes, she was.
And it has a nice little writing here about Edward Gorham and Della Staples.
Yeah. Well, I would say so. I really would. Is Evelyn, or Bill, I don't know which. That's Evelyn, isn't it?
I don't know. What does it say at the bottom there?
Oh, I didn't look at that. Maybe it's Bill.
I don't think that's Evelyn. No, I don't think that's any of
No,
No.
There's a name down there, Mark, I couldn't,
Mrs. somebody.
Yeah, Barnes or,
yeah.
no, I don't know.
No, when you're okay. Yeah, it was the. Well, I didn't ever know about Arthur either. He was quite.
I think that's Dorcas.
Oh, Dorcas Hicks, Dorcas, yeah.
Oh, you mean about this girl?
This girl,
that-
yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know that he was.
Yeah.
He
I
was
guess-
very nice and very.
They were very, very much in
Excuse me
love,
while
but
I.
they wouldn't, he wouldn't marry her because he wasn't gonna live very long.
Well, I didn't realize that either. Hello. Yes. Yes, they are right here, Marguerite. They are. Would you like to speak to Marguerite?
Oh, I'd love to.
Here is
Catherine.
Katherine right here. Just a minute, I'll take the phone over.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you.
I can put it right
Oh.
down.
Well, now, isn't this something? Yeah. I have thought of you.
Really?
Years,
True.
you
I
know,
don't know.
so often
You must
I
be in the
wondered,
genealogy.
Oh, yeah.
wondered if you were still
Isn't
around.
it aggravating how
And I
much
think
time
that's
it takes?
wonderful.
It does.
And then
Yes, sir.
This is where Granny
Isn't
Hayes
this-
grew up in
Isn't this
Hamden.
something that
I.
after all these years
That's where
we
the
would
Hicks, see, Charles
come
and
across
Dorcas
each other like this?
had their children in North Yarmouth, but then they moved to Hamden,
Oh.
and then some of them moved back, and some of them, but that's where they lived in Hamden.
Yeah.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Well, we're,
And that's my grandmother's brothers,
Mark,
Fred and
my
Bert.
oldest
Oh.
son, is very much interested
Oh.
in genealogy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Just
he
Bella,
has
yeah.
delved
Yeah.
way
Well, she's quite a hat on. Yes, she is.
Just delighted
Imagine that.
to find somebody,
Yeah.
you know,
She
that,
looks quite
that knew
stunning.
family, and,
But
and talking with her, discovered
But
that
sure.
she also knew the other side of the family too. Isn't that something? Yeah. Now, I
Now, that's a nice
understand that
picture.
Marion
This is
passed
Dorcas.
away.
See, this must be the old
I see.
house in North Yarmouth.
yes, it must be.
The back side, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
This
this side.
This Grandpa
I
and
see,
Auntie when they were
yeah.
little.
Oh,
And of
yeah.
course Vera
Dorcas,
passed away.
Angie, Belle with
Yeah,
another hat
yeah,
on.
yeah.
No, that's Belle, I'm
And,
sorry, that's Belle.
Well, they did wear hats. I'm
And that's-
sorry.
That must be a cousin or something.
Vera's
She's a
brothers
brother.
both there? Oh,
Well, you
they
are right.
yeah.
They did
Oh,
wear
yes,
hats.
yes, I guess
That's
I remember.
Angie.
Mark and I went to Aunt Emily's funeral. Was you there?
For goodness sakes.
Huh.
No, that's,
Now,
who's
isn't
that?
that
Is
something
That-
that I
that's
don't
one of the
even
Hayes
know?
brothers.
Francis? Oh,
Francis,
But
I would say
remember
Francis.
we
That was a
kind of
George,
went in
yeah.
and then we just kind of
Yeah.
left, you know, because we didn't.
There's a
we
school
were
picture
supposed to
there,
be
isn't it?
around. I remember we were
Oh,
supposed
it could have
to
been.
be. Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know.
Oh, well, this is lovely. Yes, yes.
That's Auntie and
I remember how you helped me at that
He
time
was
when my
very,
mother brought
very,
me and all the
You
children
know,
to
you
your
were very
house.
protective of that. He really took right good care of her. Nothing ever. That must be,
Yes.
that must be George.
Yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
mother.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And it's hard
That
to
was
believe they're gonna
really-
be 36. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, that was my oldest daughter, Debbie. Yeah. No, it was Debbie. We lost her, it'll be 6 years ago in October.
Now look at this here, Halloween.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Every day. They did more things, you know, like that, and had fun and parties, and they
No,
did.
well,
No.
Polly lives in
That's
Portland,
Aunt
and
Hattie,
Darlene
Aunt
lives in
Hattie's
Gray.
family. I think they lived in Orono.
Neither one of
Yeah.
She-
them
She
are married.
wrote a lot of poems.
Oh, she was a
Melvin,
Wait.
Melvin and Peg have been married, oh gee, I don't know, 22 years, I guess, something like that.
Charles
And they got
Hicks.
2 daughters.
Charles Hicks, Barnes.
Let's see, 20. Maureen's gonna be 20, and the younger one is gonna be 17.
I've seen
And
his
then,
picture. The people
that's
know
Melvin,
that.
my
I'm
oldest
sorry
son.
that
Then Stephen, my
I
next
can't
son,
remember
Stephen
people
and Judy,
appearing
married
in
about
North Yarmouth
24
with hats
years.
like that, but that must have
And
been
they
the
have a
whole my
boy,
day.
14, and a girl,
That's all, isn't it?
11.
Yeah, there's the front of the house.
And then,
Yes,
that's a nice picture, I like that.
Isn't that a nice
and
picture?
And
she
that-
had 2 boys.
I've seen this dog a few times,
Russell
Tim.
is,
He had a dog named
19,
Tim.
Oh.
and Christopher's going to be,
And now, that's
Christopher is
Grandpa,
going
and
to
this must be his
17
father,
next
Frank.
February. And Mark has 3 children.
And Auntie,
Yeah,
and
Joshua
Granny, and
is,
Belle. And this looks like either
Eden, I think, and
Arthur
Jesse
or-
Oh, yes, I
9,
think so.
and
Or
Francis.
4. And that's it. Yes.
So you spent a lot of time there.
I didn't spend as
oh,
much
yeah.
time there as,
Mark and Holly live in Portland.
I can remember,
Yeah, they live in Portland. Mark is,
uh,
have you heard of the Victory
when we
Village?
went to school,
in
the
Portland?
idea was we all must be kind to everyone.
Who was that woman? I think it was a friend of Nan and Grandpa's.
That one in Hoyt, you mean?
Yeah.
Looks like some picture there. And they all had hats on.
Yeah.
So you see, I'm wrong when I said Bill never appeared in a hat in North Yarmouth.
Well, yes, but see, this would have been years.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes, this
yeah,
must have
yeah,
been
yeah.
in,
This would have been probably 1932,
Something like
33.
that.
Yeah, because I probably was about. What was Nan and Grandpa doing down there?
Grandpa,
Huh?
who's it there?
It's Nan and Grandpa,
Campbell?
Campbell.
Oh,
Oh, there must have been a,
It's
Wait a
home.
minute, that can't be Nan and
No,
Grandpa.
no.
No,
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 no.
of course it isn't.
no.
No, of course not. That woman's too big. And they wouldn't have been down there anyway.
No, I can remember, I'd like to know, I must ask Marguerite, how on earth we ever went up there and stayed overnight?
Would that be Alice, I wonder? Aunt Alice?
she doesn't know, I don't think.
Oh, you, no.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
why I
know.
don't think she knew. It would be Grammy's sister,
No,
Hicks.
no.
No, that's not Nan and Grandpa, I wouldn't know.
Would you know who these people are?
Oh, no.
I wish I could find somebody that knew.
I
Aren't they nice looking?
Yeah.
And that's probably about 1860s.
Yes, those would be
50s,
in the 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, and they, that
I
woman
wonder if that would
looks,
be. It could be Hayes. Yeah, I don't know. Hayes children. Could be Hayes. They do you think? I think they're too young to be a couple that was getting married, or a married couple. What do you think?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
no, not in those days, or these days either, as far as that's concerned. That has a familiar look, like someone that, mine, I'd like to have that curly hair.
Well, he does look a little young, though.
Yes,
Doesn't he?
he's
Yeah,
young, he's
yeah,
young.
Yeah.
But look at his watch fob.
I know it. I know it. That's
Maybe
why.
they're brother and sister. Maybe these are
Well, they could
children.
be.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, do you suppose that Adela would know?
I don't know.
That'd be something.
Now, do you think they came the Hayes side, or
Where did
Hicks
you-
side, or?
Where did you? Do you remember ever finding this?
Oh, no,
ever
they're in
seen
Dad's things.
Things. Well,
But
must
they-
be.
Yeah.
Not in. Yeah.
Or they might have been in some of Auntie's things.
Not. Would they be Cantons?
No,
Well, that's what I. No.
So they're
No.
definitely
No.
Grandpa's side.
yeah, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
why when I said
Do you
Nan
think
and Grandpa, I
Hicks?
thought,
How about Hicks?
Would they be in the,
Well, it might be,
the Hickses, might be.
but no, it wouldn't be the Allens, it wouldn't be Nan and Grandpa, no. It wouldn't be anything to do with my mother.
Right.
That
No, I wouldn't know.
Gee, I don't know.
I don't know, but sometime you're gonna find out.
Someday out.
Yeah.
My land, these are,
Here's a cute picture.
that must be you, is that you?
Oh, yeah, that's Dad and me, yeah.
My land, where was that taken? That was
Down to the corner, gray corner.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah.
the house,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Aren't you cute? Yes, indeed. Catherine A. Hayes, about 1932.
Yeah.
Well, I must have been up in Gray, you know, I was up there a
Yeah,
lot in the 30s.
yeah. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. Earl Chase.
Oh, you knew I went to school with Earl Chase,
Yes,
too.
and he and my father were,
Oh, yes, very good friends.
For
Oh,
years
yes,
and
years and
years
years
and
and more
years, yeah.
friends.
yeah.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, indeed, yes.
Did you know my father's second wife?
No, I didn't know
Alice
either one of them.
Jordan? No,
No.
no.
Alice Jordan, was she from
Annis.
New,
Annis.
was she from New Gloucester?
Pownell.
That Jordan?
Oh, well, no. She lived in New Gloucester, yes.
Originally, she was from New Gloucester, I believe. Yeah, yeah. But then she married a Jordan.
Right, in New Gloucester on Inderville. And he committed suicide.
Wow.
And his father
Yeah.
committed suicide.
Pownell.
I
Pownell.
don't know.
I thought
Oh,
it was
yeah.
in that brick house in Inderville.
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
Is that New Gloucester?
That's
Part of
New
New
Gloucester.
Gloucester? Yeah.
yeah, that's where, yeah.
hmm
Right.
Right in that Pownell.
Jordan,
yeah,
but they
yeah,
were
right.
Jordans from New Gloucester.
Yeah.
I went,
And she,
I had a school teacher by the name of Miss Jordan. We thought she was beautiful. She came from the Jordan family. Oh, you know, she was very nice looking. You know, thought she was.
Annis married a Jordan, and she worked at the Pownell State School for years. And she had a little lunchroom in her house, or beside her house, that she used to
Oh yeah.
sell coffee and stuff out of, when my father met her.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And that was in Pownell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Now Earl Chase, his wife, when did
Was
she
called-
die?
She died just recently.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had been gone quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
And they had one daughter, Dorothy.
Uh-huh.
And she still lives. She was a school teacher, but she stayed home, I think, to take care of her mother. And then she, after her mother died, she didn't go back to teaching school. She still lives there. Yeah, I knew.
And she's illegitimate.
No, he was. Earl,
Earl was illegitimate?
yes. Earl was, that comes right home in the Baston family.
Oh.
Oh, that Earl isn't illegitimate. Now let me explain to you about Earl's mother. She, I've heard Fan Barber say this so many times. Earl's mother was married, had a baby, divorced, and died all the same year. And I don't know whether she married again or not. They were married in January. She married Everett Baston, who was my brother-in-law. My sister married him afterwards because, of course, he said no, that child wasn't his, but it was. But he married her. She was a girl who was lame, and she lived with her father, and I think her mother died, and she was quite he was quite a doting, and he had quite a bit of money, and she had a nice team, which was, more than a good many of the girls did, and drove around. She had quite a few admirers, and Everett was one of them. And so, I guess Mr. Chase came down and gave him the old one too, and I guess rather than make any trouble for his mother, who he thought a great deal of, he married the girl. And I think he was the father. There wasn't any question about it, because Earl looks just like him. And Earl was an awfully nice kid. Just as, and his grandfather brought him up. And his mother, let me see, they were married and divorced. And then I think she was married again to a fellow in Westbrook and died all in 1 year.
Earl's mother.
Earl's mother. And his grandfather brought him up. And then his grandfather married again. And they were good to him in a way, but he had a hard childhood. He had an awfully hard childhood. I mean, his grandmother was an older woman when she married his grandfather. She didn't know anything about children and wasn't very, didn't like to have him bringing any dirt. And so he was, he was down at Prince's a lot. And then he joined the army and went overseas in the First World War. And he was an awful nice kid too. But
I remember Earl and Dad were real
oh
close
yes,
friends
oh
for
yes,
years.
yes, because
Yeah.
they and when Earl was on the state police, he
Earl Chase. And I know he is mentioned in one of Dad's diaries. Did you bring Dad's diary, Francis' diary?
Not Grandpa's, no.
No. I think he was about 13 when he wrote it. 12 or 13. And something about
Yeah.
Earl Chase or
Yes.
going over to something.
He would be, Earl would probably be tramping over to his house. I don't believe that his grandmother would ever cotton on to, they could come into the dooryard probably and play, but not in the house, one of those ladies that was, and I don't think his marriage was very happy either. I don't think so.
No.
But of course.
I know once when I was a kid, Earl Chase.
Yes.
And here's my father has a store right in the middle of Gray Village.
Yes.
And Earl gave me a baby billy goat
Oh, yeah.
for a joke on my father.
Oh, yes, without a doubt. He would do something with it.
Because I loved that billy goat. And of course, Earl knew my father would not
Like it,
and he couldn't take it away from me.
No.
I loved it so much. And here he is right in the middle of town with a billy goat.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's Evelyn. Oh, for goodness sake. Now, she must have belonged to some order.
Yes, Eastern Star, I think, Pythian Sisters.
Pythian Sisters.
Pythian Sisters,
Yes,
yeah.
picture taken, 1949. Oh, yes, very many. Age 50 years old. Yeah, that was about the time that I left home. My, she was a nice looking woman.
She was healthy looking there.
Yes, she was.
She? I mean, she had some weight on her.
Yeah.
I remember her as being
very thin,
and
kind of pale and.
Yeah. She used to come and babysit for my mother. Babysit for me.
Yeah.
My mother would hire her.
Yeah.
And I'm one of 6.
Oh, 6 children? Did you have 6?
She'd go like, she'd had this nervous spoon thing,
Oh, yeah.
She would take a sip of tea.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd leave the spoon in her mouth because she'd have to shake her hand.
Oh, yeah.
So we used to, she didn't know we did this, but we would go.
Yeah, I can just imagine. I can just imagine.
And by the time she left, after she got done babysitting,
I bet she was a wreck.
I think she was.
Well, God love her. She did, and she always wanted to do. I had to tell her everything
to
do,
everything.
and so forth.
Yeah, but she would be just as faithful.
Oh,
as she would be.
absolutely, and she would do everything right on the minute that I had said.
That you would
And
put down.
so one time I told her.
Oh, I bet.
One time I told her, I can't remember exactly how this went, but something about, not to bother with the children's, she didn't have to bother with the children's supper because I'd be home.
Yeah.
And, or not, there was nothing, well, something happened, but I didn't get home till 7 or 8 o'clock. And I guess I must have called her, or I must have
Something.
called my father, and
Yeah.
Dad must have told him, you know, but I evidently didn't specify feed the kids. I thought, and she hadn't fed them because I had said not to feed them when I got home.
That would be Evelyn. No wonder they didn't tell her.
Oh, the poor kids. Well, you told me not to feed them. You
I know,
nothing,
yes,
you
well,
know.
that would be it.
Oh,
Evelyn
but
was
she was so loyal and
Yeah,
devoted.
yes, she was.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
question about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's he was a nice looking guy. He really was. He was a nice man too.
His, my mother and her mother.
Oh, yes. Now, I can remember her.
Well,
I
she
don't-
was at the store. You probably, if you
Oh,
went
yeah.
to the store,
Yes,
you
that's
probably.
probably
Yeah,
it.
up in the early,
Yeah.
you know, late 20s and
She was
early
only a
30s.
couple years older than you would be.
No, she
few.
would be, yeah.
Just a few.
What? What do you mean?
She
What?
would be only a few years older than Mrs.
Oh,
Baston.
right, yeah, yeah.
I would be older than she would be, I'm sure.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
I
no.
don't think so, no.
That's,
Okay, well, my father would be
Yeah.
92.
yeah, and
And-
I will be 90 my next birthday.
Oh, then she would be.
She would be a
You
little,
would-
yeah.
should be a little
She
younger.
was 8 years younger than my father.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
gonna be 90?
You're gonna be
Yeah.
90, oh my
Next
word.
December. Yeah.
Do you know who
I
that
think
is? Mother?
Yeah. That's it.
No? Trying to figure out who some of these people are.
Looks like a haze, doesn't it?
That looks like a haze to me. That's your camp.
Yes, I can't,
Yes.
isn't that something?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she was a sister of Marguerite's
Uh,
father.
yes,
There were 12 in the family and
Yeah.
3 died.
12 or 13, seems
Yeah.
so I remember 13, but
Yeah.
12, you're probably right.
And her mother came down from Wilton. She was a school teacher.
Oh, really?
And she came down from Wilton. Now, Marguerite would tell you all this. And of course, she married,
Alan.
Alan.
Uh-huh.
And he died when he was only 54 and left her with those 9 children because 3 of them had died, maybe 10 children.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And she had to bring them up, and her father can remember of when she would get the meal on the table, and then she would have a headache and lie down.
Yeah, I remember my grandmother telling me that.
And
Mhm.
because she didn't, there wasn't enough food.
There wasn't
and-
enough food, so
Food.
she would say that she had
Yeah.
to go away from
So
food
she
and
waited
eat.
till all the children had their
Uh-huh.
food,
Yeah,
and then if there was any, she had it.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I remember Nana
Yeah.
telling me that.
Yeah.
So-
And how
You have a picture of her. She's a little lady. and-
Marguerite has it.
Yeah.
No, but what's the picture that you have that
This
Of
is-
Nana's mother?
of Nana's a very small child?
Oh, no, that was her aunt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was her aunt.
looks
She was
like
a
a Hunchback.
Yeah, yeah. Her name was Lizzie. That was her aunt Lizzie.
Oh, yeah.
And she was, I think, her father's sister. I don't know. We'll have to ask Marguerite if we ever get to the. Yeah.
Marguerite was very provoked, her father was, because he had, his father, the one that died, had 2 brothers that were well able to help her, and they never
And
did.
they never helped her. Yeah, I remember of hearing that. Yeah.
And the brother came down from Wilton to, he was only 17, and
Yeah.
he came down
Yes.
and
Is it
for a
that?
visit, and he went back and told them that he was going to help his sister because she was
Yeah.
down there and no one was helping her.
Oh my.
You remember.
And she kept all those.
And they were so poor. They didn't have shoes. They only had
Yes.
shoes to wear to church and Sunday school, and they'd carry their shoes in their hand
Hmm.
to wear. Yeah.
Yes, that house was in New Gloucester,
Yeah.
the Campbells.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how I
My
ever happened to go up
grandfather-
there, I'd like to know.
Yeah. My grandfather built that house.
Yes, he was a very,
He worked with the Shakers for a number of years, and
Yeah.
they have them. The Shakers. We've been up several times. He's written up in their diaries how
Yes.
he worked right alongside of them.
That looks awfully familiar.
Yeah, that does. I think I've been told who that was. That wouldn't be Arthur, would it?
Well, it might be one of the brothers. It has a look,
Could be cousin.
It looks like the.
I don't,
I don't know.
Francis, I don't
Could it be
think.
Frank?
What about
Yes.
No? What about Francis? Would that be Francis?
Could
I don't think so. He had a round somehow.
Yeah, he did. He had
Or
a
could
round-
that be the father when he was younger?
Oh, I don't
Frank
think so.
is?
No,
I don't think so.
that would be, it might be Arthur. I can't seem to remember. He can't
This is Campbell's.
Yeah.
Marguerite said that she'd like to have us come over sometime, and she'd get all this Allen stuff out.
Oh, I'd
so
like to
you,
see that.
yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
she would.
Yeah, this is a Campbell crew.
Oh, yes, Campbell's about 1926.
Oh, some of those pictures are.
That would be,
And
Oh,
this
that
is-
was Nana, and Grandpa was here.
This is
No,
about,
Nana's here.
this is about 1934. This is the Campbell crew.
That's my
Yeah.
mother. Right there.
oh, right there. That looks like a family, typical family picnic of the 30s.
Yeah, yeah.
That's,
Oh, that's Mr. Campbell.
Now, I'm not sure, but I bet you this is Zeddy. I bet you Zeddy
well,
is here.
Marguerite would probably know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, she would.
Yeah, keep them silent.
yeah.
I like this picture.
Thank you. Oh, that's,
It's Arthur. And
Oh, that's Arthur and my father.
yeah.
look at his ears.
Oh, that was Arthur?
Yeah, so this one here couldn't be Arthur.
No, no. My
This is-
land, grew to look like Arthur. I mean,
Uh-huh,
you know, that
uh-huh.
looks an awful lot like,
Yes, it does.
like,
yeah.
This is Arthur again, age 29 in 1913.
well. I can't seem to remember him.
Arthur. you can't
Arthur, he
remember
was
that?
older and,
Yeah.
but, Frank Hayes, you know, that lived in Gray, there's something about, I went once to visit, Minnie, went
Mhm.
after, she lived with Frank. Who was the other one?
Oh, I think she lived with one of them, George. There was Minnie being George's wife, and he died. And they had
Yeah, they,
Almond
yeah,
and Frank and George, right?
there was a John.
Or John. Yes, John.
Where is John? Did John
John,
die?
I think John's in California. I think
Oh,
Mary
yes, you
told
said
me.
so, yeah.
No, that was Charles, Frank's son, Mary and Frank's.
Oh, Mary and Frank, oh yes, but
Yeah.
became a Mormon.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, for goodness sake, where's,
And
his
John.
Frank hasn't died, has he?
No, he's still living. Yeah,
He lives
he's
here in
of all
Yarmouth.
the Hayes men, he's lived the longest. They all died young.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
Almond, I know.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Almond, I loved Almond.
Oh, he was tall and
Oh.
kind of, yeah, he was,
He was a sweetheart.
yeah,
He was
he-
George's son.
Brother.
yeah.
Well, George.
No.
No, no,
no.
no.
George's son.
George was
Son.
George's son.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get them all mixed up, there's so many
Well, I don't want it.
generations.
We're firing all these questions at you,
I know it.
tucking you all out.
No, don't talk me out, oh
Now,
dear,
here's another one that I.
don't know.
Why don't
wish I
you
knew.
take these
Yeah,
back?
I'll take that.
Okay. Oh, he must have been in the Civil War, huh?
Hmm.
I don't know. That would be about my father's era.
I'm wondering if that's the same person.
This is 18, for Frank, a
A
souvenir of 1898. For Frank, that must be Frank Hayes.
Yeah.
That would be,
But that's not him.
No, it's
Paul
for a
Frank, yeah.
souvenir of
There was a-
1898.
There was a picture someplace that,
Excuse me,
Yes.
may I use your bathroom?
Yes,
Is it right in this way?
yeah, and around the corner.
Oh, all right.
Let me find it. That's right.
I got it.
There you are. What do I know it? Must be.
it's been around,
I thought I had seen it.
isn't this, is the same guy maybe?
Yeah, that must be.
Now that must be, and this woman here, that wouldn't be her, would it?
I hope so. But
I don't know, they all,
They all have a certain look.
Yeah.
don't they? That's too bad. You should write on pictures, shouldn't you?
oh, I know, but I've got tons and tons
Well,
of
I
the
should say
pictures,
so.
of my children, and I try to write
How
on them.
many
but
children have you?
I have three.
Three.
I have a son named Hayes Joshua Heath,
Here's Joshua.
yeah, and he goes by H. Joshua Heath.
Yeah.
He signs his name H. Joshua.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
call him Hayes, but.
No.
Then my daughter, he's almost 16.
Oh,
Then I have a daughter who's 9. Her name is Jessica Hayes.
Jessica Hayes. You got the Hayes.
And then I have another son, and I tried my darndest to get the Hayes in there, and my wife said,
It's enough.
enough is enough.
Yes, I should just have
So
been-
his name is Samuel Richard after her father.
Oh, yes, I think it's about time, huh?
Well, I've tried to pinpoint these people, but
No, that's beyond me.
yeah.
Frank, now that must be some relative of Frank Hayes's.
I would say that was probably, I think probably, you're right,
Excuse me.
sure.
I think it must be, because, now here goes this. Hello? Yes. Yes, she wants, no, they never would have. They never would have. Yes, I will tell them. Yes, indeed. That's right, Marguerite. Yes, indeed. Okay. Her telephone is under the name of Mention. Now, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, mention?
Mention, that would be Jackie's
Oh,
name.
yes, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Who's Sewell Baston?
Sewell Baston is some relative of my husband's.
This is what I was telling you about. That was addressed to.
Oh, yes, F.O. Hayes, North Yarmouth, Maine. See, penny
Yeah.
postcard. That's it. Mutual fire insurance, yes.
$1.
Yeah, East
Yeah.
North Yarmouth, you see? East North Yarmouth, Maine. Do
Gee,
have to
I
go by
found all
notified?
kinds of papers, selectmen, all kinds of papers.
Total loss sustained by Sewell Baston, buildings destroyed by fire. 99, I didn't, an assessment of $1, and you forgot the 95 cents.
Oh.
And your premium, no. To pay it within 30 days. James Lawrence, and he was secretary for years and years and
Yeah.
years, even when I was Crockett. Yeah.
Where's that picture of the?
Oh, yes, Dorcas and, yeah.
This is Charles Earl Hicks and Dorcas
Oh, yes.
Loring Hicks, and that was taken up in Hamden.
Oh, yes.
That's Angie's parents.
Yes. Oh, they were really quite a family, as I recall, now that you bring it to mind.
Yeah.
Quite brilliant. I mean, you know, an osteopath and, oh, they really, you know, those
There was
days.
I think a college professor and.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Watching the children, looking for the children. A Merry Christmas from Alice. Grandfather Charles Hicks and Dorcas Grammy Hayes' parents. Somebody was very smart to put that on.
Then we have this book, this box of, it says old pictures of the Hayes family. And hopefully they've always been together here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but they're very old. I don't know, like this
I
here.
don't know
They'd
very
be
much
way,
about.
way
Yes, yes.
older than-
Yeah,
Yeah. You said no names.
no
No,
names.
no, no.
No.
Well, I can show you a picture of Uncle Ed Hayes.
Oh,
which
can you
You
really?
probably.
Oh, because there
That
might
would be Frank's. Maybe he'd be in there.
his,
You never know.
his to Angie from father and Mimi.
Mamie,
Mamie.
yeah,
Yes.
that was Angie's sister, Mamie.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's
No, but that's.
that's Arthur.
I was going to
No.
say. If you're gonna-
Who's this mother next to Arthur?
Oh, that's Charles Allen.
Charles Allen?
Yes, that's. And that is.
Because we have another one.
Yeah, that's Charles Allen.
Charles Allen, that's
That was
Ernest
Della's
Allen's
father.
father,
And that would be Della's
his husband.
husband.
And that's Stella's husband and her brother.
Oh, all
Would
right.
that
her
be
nephew.
Ernest?
No, that's Arthur.
Oh, Arthur.
Hayes.
Oh, that's Arthur Hayes.
But that's Ernest Allen. That's
That's
Ernest Allen's
Charles Allen.
Charles Allen. We can write that on there.
Yes, you better,
Yeah.
yeah. This is Charles Allen,
Oh,
who
that's
would
Charles.
be Ernest Allen's
Father.
father. And that's Arthur. Are you sure that's Arthur? Why would he be having his picture with,
Because their brother,
That would be
nephew and,
your nephew.
it looks like Arthur.
that's Arthur, mother. I mean, look at these pictures here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
that's,
probably right, but I just, I wondered if it could be,
Suppose that would
Ernest.
that be Arthur?
yes, yeah, yeah,
that-
yeah.
yeah.
no, you know that guy in the uniform?
This is Jacob Hayes. It says on
Oh,
the
it
back.
says right on there, yeah. Jacob
Jacob
Hayes.
Hayes, and that
Yes.
might be Jacob in that
Yeah.
other
I'm
picture.
gonna look at that. Jacob Hayes is it goes me, you, Grandpa, Frank
Frank.
Hayes, and his father was, I think, Edward, and then it goes Jacob Jr. and
Oh.
Jacob, and then Deacon
Mhm.
Jacob Hayes.
Yeah, so this is Jacob Hayes.
Right, well, I'll put it here. Does that look like him, do you think?
Yeah, I bet you.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
I'll put those together and write on those another time. These are all pictures of Grammy Hayes. Remember those old Grammy Hayes timbers?
Oh my man,
That's Angie Hayes.
that's Angie when
Yeah.
she was young.
Yeah, she beautiful.
Oh, she was nice. I can remember as an older lady.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of, it says Papa's Bell. That must be a bell.
Oh, wasn't that what for good and Papa's Bell?
Yeah.
That would be Isabel, huh?
Yeah,
Bell
yeah.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
she?
it.
But I don't ever remember when her face was round like that.
No, the pictures,
Yeah.
the older ones look long and.
I know Eleanor always stressed the family. She was the only girl, and the brothers thought she was just,
Yeah,
and then to think that this should come,
this should happen.
this
That
should
must
happen
have
to her. It
been.
must have been quite a blow in
Yeah.
those days. No, you didn't think anything about it.
No.
It was just one of those things.
Sylvanus Hayes?
Oh.
Sylvanus?
Oh, yes, that one went back quite a ways, didn't it? Sylvanus, yes. Yarmouth, Maine, Durgan. Sylvania. I don't want to get these mixed up now.
No, I'll take them.
These go together, these go together. Those two. And that one you had somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm gonna put these together here, thinking of that. Does he look familiar to you?
Oh, I did. They must be. That was 2 cents it cost to send that. Well, this was taken in Comiston, Maine. With any of the family ministers? That was quite a significant.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Ministerial.
Alluring, yeah.
Yes, the Loring was.
Alluring. Yeah, but that goes way back.
Well, this
Well, this goes
would,
back.
this would be way back
Yeah,
there.
but can't you see
Oh,
the
yeah.
house? And
Yeah, well, Nicholas
Sure.
Loring goes back to before pictures.
before pictures.
Oh, yeah, because it would be Dorcas's great-great-grandfather.
Oh,
That
great.
was in
Loring.
Thomaston, Maine,
Yeah.
taken.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy here looks familiar. I don't know why, but he looks like maybe I've seen him on TV.
Must have,
Yeah.
you must have.
Because he looks like
I bet he was way back about the 1700s.
Yeah, looks like
really.
Abraham Lincoln.
There, it says on there.
Daniel, somebody.
Burley, guess so. Daniel C. Burley. Why does he come into that?
I don't know, Burley. Yeah.
Now look at that, this one is a frame. Do you think that is Isabel? Or is that before Isabel's day?
I think that would be before Isabel.
I
don't
think
you?
probably.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so.
Here's a
I do.
very young picture of age 14.
I wonder who this one is.
I don't know, but she's a kind of little girl when you get her right. Was Arthur and then Isabel.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Well, no, wait a minute. I think it was George,
oh yes, George and
And then
Isabel.
Isabel.
And George, yes.
yeah, and then Arthur,
And
then Francis, and then my father.
yeah. Rooms, Bangor, Maine. F.E. Hayes,
I think that's Angie Hayes.
yeah, 1914.
Now his,
But that was before 1914.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
yeah, that could be, see, that is Arthur, and there's that
Oh,
Charles Allen.
Charles Allen. Yes, that's my land. That's Charles Allen. Yes. I never saw one as young as that, of Charles. Yeah.
This is 1919?
I know, but
I think it must be before
Oh,
that.
I
but,
think so too,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I think that was before that.
Now on here also it says mother and Uncle Jacob lost at sea.
oh,
Angie
an awful
Hayes.
lot of families, lost it.
Now, would that be the
Jacob Loring.
Loring? The
Yeah,
one
Loring.
Walter has the cup,
Yeah.
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 Where is Walter now?
He's in Westbrook.
Westbrook. Is he ever married?
Oh yeah, he's married and he has 2 adopted children.
Oh, really? I don't think I've ever seen Walter.
No,
I don't think I have a picture here of him either.
Oh, my.
that's an oldie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, these are old. So I'm assuming that these have got to be all
yeah.
hazes, but you know, it's too bad that we don't know who they.
I know it, that's just, oh, but that's a nice little picture, that
Yes,
boy.
that is good, isn't
But
it?
then this is Angie Hayes and her three sisters.
Oh,
Now that's an early picture of them.
oh, isn't that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So she must have mixed pictures, you know, the Hicks
Yes, yes.
the Hicks pictures and the Hayes pictures.
That's
Got
it.
all kind of mixed together here.
Now, how many girls? Were there 4 girls? Or were there 5 girls? 1, 2, 3.
You'd know better than me.
Wait a minute, there was Grammy and Hattie and Aunt Mamie and Aunt Alice. Yeah, I think there were 5. Andrew, Hattie.
My goodness, I don't know how you could ever keep all these.
Well, you know, Auntie, my grandfather, my mother came across all these. Oh, that's George.
Oh,
That's George Hayes, right?
oh, when he was a little boy.
These are all George.
Is
His
this
baby
up there
pictures,
written?
can you imagine? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell George's pictures
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it says, and baby hair. The baby hair's gone, I guess.
It is right here, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, baby hair, though.
Oh,
I think
baby
there's a
hair, oh
baby
yes,
hair.
yes, oh yes.
George's baby's hair, George's baby's pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him 10 times for baby?
Isn't that something? Yeah.
So that was their first form, right? Did we figure that out?
Yeah.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah.
And, put them away, just something. Oh, I'm awfully glad to see that picture of all these.
Mm.
Yeah, that was
And there's a
an
lot of
early
just
one.
pictures here that nobody did.
No,
Sure.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I don't know who this lady was.
Well, that looks, could that be?
Wasn't this an auntie's chest?
I think that was an Auntie's chest. Yeah. Yeah.
It's in there.
And you know, the more I think about it, I think those 2 pictures there were in Addie's chest too.
Really? Well, they were framed at one time because you can see the
Oh, yes,
oval
yes,
there.
they probably, you know.
You ought to
Which
maybe
I
put
knew
some
that they
tissue
were.
paper around those
I
guys
know
so they
they're
don't
gonna
get
get scratched.
scratched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, is your wife interested in genealogy?
Well,
To a certain extent, but to a certain extent not.
I've dragged them through more cemeteries.
Oh, that's
We go
always
up- We
pleasant.
go up through our family drive, we end up at Walnut Hill.
Oh, dear. I've got to go up to the Walnut Hill and spend a little time.
You know, in their dining room, he has a large portrait of Grammy Hayes
The brothers and sisters?
and brothers and sisters and
Oh, Before and after.
Dorcas and you know all. And he hung them. He put them up
Yeah.
when they were moving in and rearranging and everything. And Masha was standing there leaning against the and she's looking, you know. You gotta live with these people, Masha. You know, and how the old pictures are.
Oh,
No
I
one
do
is
remember.
smiling, and they don't look.
Oh,
too
Well, they're
pleasant.
all, I
You
know,
know.
but you know, I have every generation from me, well, my children, to Joseph Hicks, and I think that's like 9 generations. I have pictures, except for one.
Isn't he lucky?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
Because I can go back on the mountain, but you know, I never knew who my grandfather and grandmother were on my mother's side.
Mhm.
because you see, there were 13 Pratts from Yarmouth, and some of the boys went down east, and some of the girls went down east to keep house for them, and married down there. And then, of course, it was a long way down there in Calais. And but still, they would go back and forth. But you see, my mother died when I was 7, and I knew that she had, because my father told me that your mother had a brother by the name of Allison, and he went west, the gold, when they went west for gold, and never was heard from. And she wrote to all the people out there, the postmasters, and she never. And that's all I knew about and I knew that I had a cousin, because they were very good after my mother died. They had me down east to stay summers, a lot on the chases. And I knew that Sarah was my cousin, but I didn't stay with her family or anything. I didn't know. Well, it seems that just recently, within the last 5-10 years, I went down to the Historical Society, and I knew that my mother's was a Pierce. I didn't know what her father's name was, or her mother's either. Pierce. So, I ran this through, and here was George and Sarah Pratt Pierce. And one child, in 1850, one child, Allison. And then I knew that must have been my mother's, because I can remember the oldest child was Allison, and how she, and then there was a list of, Allison, and the next one was, I can't remember what his name was, and Clara, and there isn't any record of Clara whatsoever. And the next one, and then there was a 17-year-old, 17 years between the last one that was recorded and my mother. And so she was 17.